takes it away. Look at Black, he can't do much, no mana, the free hit is not there. Lian makes it away with a slash and nice combo, can start it off.
Okay, he's going to be Antares, the victim of a gank here, but gets the first blood. With all the unleashed power spears.
Trying to disrupt things in wall. Look at the damage!
Oh my lord, what was that? A triple kill! This is a quadra! Hello is very low!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, welcome back to the 2017 LoL Collegiate League Summer Term North Conference Finals, powered by Lenovo. We'll be your shoutcasters for the third game of the series. I'm Atlas, with me is Chisto, and we just got back from that game where BULSU was able to get a really nice victory over UC.
Yeah, Bulacan State University, they definitely feel good about themselves at the moment because the game was going fairly even, and then you thought UC would come out on top, and then BULSU, once the late game struck, once they were able to scale, just turned around every team fight and came out with the win. So great show of mental fortitude right there, which is really one of the key factors if you want to come out on top in a best-of-5 series.
They were able to adapt from what happened in the first game, applied here in the second game, and now it's going into a third game with a 1-1 score. So this is really an equal playing field so far, but UC made a lot of mistakes that game, and if they don't fix it, this could cost them the entire series. But of course, let's get into the pick and bans here. UC, University of the Cordilleras, Requiem Esports versus Bulacan State University, BULSU.
Yeah, from here on out, this is practically a best-of-3 because both teams are sitting on 1 win apiece, and now they've seen what each other can do. They know what strategies they have in store. Now the third game, how much have they adapted? How much of a lead do they have over their opponents? Now we'll get to see as we go through the pick and ban, and UC banning out of Zoe. Very interesting.
Very interesting. They do have the first pick priority on that, but it doesn't seem like they have enough value. They don't value it enough to first pick it, but they don't want to deal with it either if BULSU wants to pick it up. And in this third game, I think, is where the turning point of the series will be. It's where it really sets a stage for the rest of the match here, because this is where the momentum really starts picking up.
This is where you grab that momentum, try and really shut down your opponent and break their spirit, really, because whoever comes out on top here is on match point. They only need to win one more, so
it's got to be very
this is a
arduous.
Very crucial point in this best-of-5.
Yasuo banned out here against either JP or TSC, but it would seem more like a JP pickup for this one. But that will be the first ban, a Yasuo ban. It's going to be quite interesting for this one, what the priorities are for both of these teams, and knowing the champion pool of the opposing team is definitely something that's highly important. We'll see how UC responds to that.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with those cheesy pocket picks like, oh, this guy's a really good Yasuo player, but we don't want to deal with that because he might surprise us with something very big. Now, Bulacan State University not wanting to deal with that will bat it out.
In the third game, it was really important not to get blindsided by any of these pocket picks.
Definitely.
That the team can pull out against you, so it might be a wise decision to ban that Yasuo out. UC taking their time here to really know what they're going to ban out against BULSU, thinking of it really hard. Both of these teams taking their time with the pick and ban.
It's very crucial.
Yeah, because this is, as I said, one of the most crucial games in a best-of-5. This is at the midpoint of the game, especially if it's a 1-1 so far. It's basically a reset of the mental fortitude, of their status, and their endurance. So it's going to be a big help here if they ban out the Jace. We saw that dealt a lot of damage from UC's side in the first game. We'll be seeing, we won't be seeing here actually the Jace from BULSU's side. We'll see how BULSU responds to that one in their second ban out for this first phase of banning.
Yeah, but we will be taking a short break, I believe, from the pick and ban phase. Kind of a little issue. We will be getting back in that very soon. So, looking back, you did mention both teams taking ample time to decide on what to ban, because most of competitive League of Legends matches are really decided just during the pick and ban phase. Good analysts would know just from what has been picked which team will be favored at what stage in the game. So this is a very crucial point, especially in a very important match in the series.
It's definitely not something you can just skimp on thinking about. You can't just go for these weird pocket picks. You really have to think about what composition you want against the playstyle of the opposing team. So it's definitely something that's highly important. and they really need to consider what do we need to do and what can we do if they bring out this strategy that we prepared for during training. So in this finals of the North Conference, this is the culmination of everything that's happened before in the preparation leading to LCL, and then in this actual summer term. It's going to be very important that they gather all the information, all of the training and the experiences and the bonds that they've accumulated in the past few months.
The friendships.
Yeah, the friendships that they've... Because that does apply synergy.
Yeah, it does.
Especially with a jungler,
yeah.
So it's going to be really up to the junglers of both these teams later to get them the momentum they need to go to get through this third game.
Yeah, but let's look back at that previous game and really try to digest what went down, because it was very back and forth for the first 20 to 25 minutes, and then UC began turning it up, securing all these objectives over the map, really making use of their semi-global ultimates to really just move around very quickly, using that Realm Warp, using the Monterey of Karma very, very fast. But at some point in the game, they weren't able to get the same looks they had. They weren't able to get these flanks from the cannon, and BULSU just... The team fight execution of BULSU was very, very clean as the game went longer. So
as if they were adapting to everything UC was, and UC was just overreaching a lot of times there, going for plays that they otherwise shouldn't have done. And there, since they overreached, it gave BULSU so many opportunities to take them out and then establish their own form of control over the objectives in the map. And that gave BULSU really the bolstering force that they needed to get that second game. But of course, let's get back here into the pick and bans. Cho'Gath banned out against UC. This was one of the bans in the first game, so they could really avoid a lot of the tankiness offered by these champions.
Yeah, we're picking up right where we left off, really, and now BULSU will be batting out the orange. I don't think they want to leave that up, knowing that now they aren't the first pick. But with that being said, UC will jump on this Ezreal pick. Could go to the jungle, could go to the AD carry. We see a lot of Kleptomancy Ezreal, given the new runes reforges, and Kleptomancy works wonders for him in
really
wherever you put him. Yeah, and the response from BULSU. Karma and Maokai, very potent combo, I should say.
Yeah, very potent combo. Lots of potential tankiness coming from the Maokai. There is a lot of flexibility with that pick as well. When it comes to the team fights, they're very versatile in terms of what they can do, but it seems like UC knows what they want. They want to go all in here with the Leona and the support role, as well as a Trundle somewhere around the top side or the jungle.
Yeah, they want to pick up this Leona for that huge engage option, because one of the things Leona provides to a team is CC and lockdown. Once Leona gets into the middle of the fight, she's just there forever because she's so tanky as well. And with the Trundle here, they're going to be able to use that subjugate and remove that tankiness you mentioned that will come from the Maokai. So UC playing this pick and ban quite smartly.
So far, UC really wants to do one thing, and that's to melt whatever's keeping them from getting onto MP, getting onto Jors, and then blast them down with whatever firepower they have. Let's go into the second phase of banning. Jarvan banned out against UC. It prevents a lot of burst damage coming from the ganks. Lee Sin as well, so they're really forcing Cry to go in a less aggressive jungler in the early game, while UC is still taking a lot of power away from Jors. The Malzahar and Orianna will not be available for him today.
Yeah, let's see. What will BULSU take for their fourth pick? They have options here. The Maokai and Karma are still flex, but we've seen Karma go to the mid lane instead of support, and Braum,
could be a Braum onto the support role and then bring the Karma onto the mid lane possibly. There's a lot of survivability that allows the bot lane to really defend against that Leona if possible. And this could be a decent tech pick against that Leona. Looking at UC, it might be the Tristana onto this bot lane, or there was a short burst of popularity for some Tristana jungle, but I don't think we'll be seeing in the semi-pro game for this one. It's a lot more reliable to have that jungler Ezreal, I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of scratching my chin here, Atlas, because BULSU had the option to go for a Morgana pick, which has worked wonders for them.
It didn't get banned out here.
Yeah, during the first two games, Morgana was really one of the key factors in keeping MP safe, but they opt for the Braum and flex the Karma into the mid lane. Very interesting choices from BULSU here, but I wonder how much is it going to cost them?
Because Morgana has a lot of more reliability when it comes to blocking out any of the CC that Leona can bring out.
Leona, yeah, exactly.
Of course, Braum is a very effective defensive champion. However, compared to the prevention that is possible with a Morgana. It's not as potent. So it seems like here, no, they actually banned it out on the
I was
rotation.
bamboozled.
Okay, bamboozled.
Yeah, okay, so
they actually, but the point remains, why did they ban out the Morgana? It could have been because it's looking at the pick and bans, it seemed like Leona was already locked in.
Very, very interesting choices from both teams, but with the Braum locked in though, that will provide BULSU with a lot of CC, and now we're heading onto the Rift for the third game of this best of 5 between Bulacan State University on the red side versus University of the Cordilleras on the blue side.
And this is going to be Requiem Esports UC versus BULSU Gosu on this one. Seems like level 1 avoided a scuffle in that bot side jungle. Could have been disastrous if another mishap in the level 1s happened for either of these teams.
Yeah, we don't want to see those tricky level 1s because we saw JP in that first game face check and it cost him first blood, but it really didn't deter the result.
I don't think BULSU was able to really take advantage of that early lead that MP was able to get, but for this one, it seems like they have a little bit of a safer start. Both are starting around the bottom side of the map, so they will converge either mid lane or top lane.
Definitely, and now with the Braum, that's one more engaged option from the members of BULSU. They're so much more engaged on their comp now. They've opted to take the fight to UC instead of just standing back and kiting, because during the previous game, we saw them run this Morgana and it really gave them a lot of safety, a lot of options for Peel to disengage, but now it looks like they're confident enough to take the fight to UC.
Just get in there with a Braum. Once Chris is able to go in with his abilities, then the Braum can just go onto him with his shield, with everything he has to offer, the CC as well. It's both in offensive and defensive options, so it's very versatile here for Ralph.
It's very impressive. I mean, Chris diving in with Twisted Advance and the Braum hopping in front of him. That's so much more chain CC lockdown potential, and
it's going to be quite scary.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very, very scary.
For now, it seems like they will just be playing their lanes normally. We have to look at where the junglers are going. Here, Cry just finishes his blue buff, as Ice also is in a process of taking down his red buff. He is in a dangerous position to encounter each other.
Oh no!
Cry actually gets a jump
so
on
much
him.
Damage!
Oh dear, first blood goes to Cry without any fighting back coming from Ice.
Very unfortunate there for Ice. He just melts, and that is huge for Ezreal in this early game, especially with versus a Nidalee matchup. Yeah. Nidalee's first clear is very critical to her success, and now that she's been shut down, Cry is just gonna have free reign over this jungle matchup.
It really goes both ways here in the fact that the jungle Ezreal has so much kill potential if he gets a jump on you, and it's because he really relies on that early game cheese, while Nidalee is so soft, so squishy in that early game, and definitely does not want to get counter-jungled. And there, since Cry was able to get the initiative,
right here,
he's still going for more ganks, taking down yours with his Dark Harvest. And it seems like he will be pushed out of this wave at least, and will be pushed into this turret.
That is huge, really, for UC, because like you mentioned, Ezreal relies a lot on this early game cheese, early game ganks in order to get ahead.
Oh, now he's going bot side. Here comes Ice
all over the place.
Oh man, he seems to be going in for it with the Zenith Blade, jumping in with his Rocket. Franz is dealing a lot of damage, but being protected. But look at the damage coming from Cry. It makes MP explode, and now Ralph is left alone, and Ice can do nothing but watch and clear the Krugs.
That is huge for University of the Cordilleras. The Ezreal getting 2 ganks off successfully, and that is just a big swing in this early game. Now BULSU, they have to fight back.
They definitely need to find ways where they can pressure each other. But look at this, Cry is chasing down Ice in his own territory. Yeah, Ice can just try and fight back here. He doesn't have double buffs. He has a lot of burst potential. If he hits a spear, actually unfortunately misses. JP's here for the assist and takes the kill, bolstering this mid lane even more against Jors.
The early game for Ice's Nidalee might have just fallen apart right there. Before 5 minutes, already dying twice. That is very, very disastrous for Nidalee.
It's just high-octane jungling here for Cry, knowing where to look for the kills, and he actually gets them with that cheese from the Ezreal. Loss of early game damage, the surprising mobility coming from a jungler definitely helps out in the X factor, and BULSU falls apart in the early game. However, they're not out of the game just yet. They have a few chances here to really strike back against UC.
Yeah, and looking at how this early game has went for BULSU, maybe they're now thrown off by the Ezreal pick, because during the first 2 games, Cry was on Jarvan, a tank, and now he's on a carry jungler. Maybe the pace has shifted. Maybe BULSU is still trying to get a feel for how Cry decides to path on this Ezreal, and now it's costing them.
That could be the trap card that UC flipped over to let BULSU really get out of the rhythm. And now UC is using that tempo on their side to actually pick them apart piece by piece. And they will have to continue pressuring BULSU if they want to make this lead be useful.
Yeah, definitely. And especially 100% kill participation on Cry.
Oh, man.
Even though they did get come back from during the previous game, they're showing their mental fortitude right here. They aren't playing like they're flustered.
Mountain Drake, and I don't think BULSU suspects this at all. Akinos and Franz are just acting normal in this bot side, letting their jungler take this Mountain Drake with lots of sustain. He has all of his potions ticking right now, and I don't think BULSU is in a position to contest this. Ice is on the other side
not
of the
in a
map.
position to contest this Mountain Drake. It is going down fairly slowly.
It is the Mountain Drake. It is the tankiest, rockiest Drake, but it is definitely free. It would be too dangerous for BULSU to actually respond to that, and Cry actually gets a little bit of free mana regen from that honey fruit.
Yeah, they will pick up the Mountain Drake, so that's bonus 2 damage to objectives, and the success, for more Drakes to come, they will be able to take it down even faster. And Infernal Drake, that is a huge...
Cry is now moving on to the blue buff of BULSU. He is fighting back. Ralph is around the corner, but Akinos is also around the corner to really go for the assist. Actually, Cry gets the steal with his might, and I think Cry's might actually just fall down as Franz shoots him down. Ralph is going to get jumped on with the bomb taken on him, and Cry gets another kill from that bot side, and UC just taking over this early game before 10 minutes. Look at that Zenith Blade onto the turret. They are relentless.
Whoa.
Look at all of that burst coming from both of these 80 carries, and they take them down clean.
Yeah, Bulacan State University, they are melting. This Ezreal is absolutely going off. 7 minutes into the game, 7 kills already, 100% kill participation. That's the stat you want to have.
That's decisiveness.
Yeah,
as soon as 2 other members of BULSU fall down, they know that they want to go for Ralph. Kissy might fall here, but they are both quite tanky animals. He did just use his ultimate.
Animals? Maokai is a tree.
I mean, I'm not a biologist, Cheese, though.
You can clearly tell Maokai is a tree.
But he moves.
That doesn't...
Independently.
Plants can move it. No?
No, they can't.
What about Venus Flight? Whatever. Okay, going back into the game. UC has been playing this early game very, very well, and that could be really credited to how Cry has played this Ezreal. He's been very proactive, and he was able to find kills constantly onto ice, and that really shut down what Nidalee's early game can do.
It's really the momentum coming from that keystone that he has. Dark Harvest allows him to weave in and out of ganks very, very nicely. Here, Kissy might be in a little bit of trouble. So much burst comes from that Nidalee, but he's recovering a lot of HP from his passive, from his ultimate, and he actually survives through all of that. Ice really would have appreciated that kill, but now he's going ham for it. It seems like there's no one to help Kissy for now, but will Ice be able to get the kill? He does get the spear on, but he does not want to risk diving into a pillar and dying.
Ooh, that was very aggressive from Ice. Really wanted to pick up the kill onto Kissy, but still, well played by the Trundle. Even though he was in a 2v1 situation, he was able to stay calm and really just escape the 2v1 in the gank. So
yeah,
very,
and the happiest
very well
person from that trade-off is Cry. This gives him so much room to steal a lot of resources from Ice, and that is absolutely terrible for a Nidalee jungle. And here he might be looking for even more ganks. Now that Akinos is level 6, they will want to gank and dive this bot lane.
See this happening,
man,
though.
It's going to be the Sun Burst happening
Look
right
at
there. Look at
damage.
all of that burst coming from both of these 80 carries. Ralph will be the next target, and I think this is just by the book's firing squad from both Cry and Franz. And on top of that is the first turret of the game. This could be a revenge kill coming from the mid lane, but he's still not going down. And look at that emote BM coming from Cry. 4-0 and 6, 100% kill participation, and just so much power, unlimited power.
QC are turning it up. Pretend there's a kill every minute. They're so bloodthirsty this game. They're really taking the fight onto both.
JP wants to kill Ice as well. He's a slippery cat. But unfortunately, he makes a donation to the blood bank onto this mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, Ice just melts.
Man, that is just complete
pretty hot
terror coming from UC.
Pretty humid.
Pretty hot and humid. Ice actually does fall down. I mean, JP is a warm-blooded person.
How can you tell? He's bladder. Maybe he just likes all forms of blood. He's bladder here. Yeah, I have to agree on that.
However, this does still put UC in such a position where they dominate the early game. They can just dictate everything that BULSU does, and the rhythm of this game is just totally in favor of them. So far, what can BULSU do, though?
Yeah, for BULSU, they're going to have to wait till MP and Chris scale because they need Caitlyn's damage. They need Maokai's tankiness. But right now, only 11 minutes into the game, they're so far off from that. And UC, they're constantly making moves to extend their lead further. And if BULSU aren't able to get stops, shut down the gold from ballooning, UC's just going to run away with this game.
Look at that. Franz is fighting back. He already has Infinity Edge and a Zeal. Compare that to MP, who has barely any items.
I think he's going to be Barbecue.
Oh, man. Charcoal, Maokai will be the new skin for this one. Cry will actually be trying to fight back against both Ralph and Jors. They are both quite low, but they are knowing what their objective is. It's the Rift Herald. They do want it. Here comes the ultimate coming from Akinos, and they still want to jump around. Franz actually runs away very, very low, has to abandon Akinos.
Here
comes JP. He has a lot of AoE damage possible on him. Cry might go for the pickup onto that Rift Herald. He does actually. An RKM, JP is actually trying so hard to fight back. He actually gets a kill onto Jors. And I think this is going to be a 2-for-2, still in favor of UC.
Yeah, even with that trade-off, even though BULSU were able to pick up kills, get more gold in their pockets, they're still a mountain behind UC.
And look at that.
They're even knocking down the second-tier turrets only at 12 minutes. And man, UC just playing this early game very, very well. And it's transitioning into this mid-game, giving them this massive lead.
Definitely. If this pace of the game keeps up, this 12 minutes might actually be the halfway point of this game, of this third game, because if UC can close this out early, this gives them so much momentum coming into the next fights of the match.
Yeah, and this is very similar to how UC played.
Look at that aggressiveness coming from Cry.
Yeah, looking back, this is very, very unlike the first game of UC where they ran that poke comp and they were able to just constantly chip down towers, take down objectives, and now another objective being knocked down. The Infernal Drake just going to be salt in the wound of BULSU, and UC, they're going to hurt, man.
BULSU will feel the burn. And as for this one, it is a similar kind of poke comp, but the dynamics are different because the top lane will be their sort of front line, and the jungler now is their one of their pokers. Akinos trying to dive onto this one with Franz, definitely very aggressive. Unbreakable actually blocks the entirety of that true shot barrage, but look at all of that damage coming from Franz's explosive shot, putting George at half health.
BULSU, they need to do so much work just to defend from a bit of the poke of UC. That's how far ahead UC is at this stage in the game. They're able to just push around the members of BULSU, and that can really be credited to how Cry played the early game. Just a very, very well played early pathing from the Ezreal. Shut down the jungle of BULSU.
And there's so little time to react when that Ezreal ganks you. Suddenly he warps right in front of you and puts all of his charges from his Dark Harvest into you, and then you just explode from the burst, especially in the bot lane, because Akinos, Franz, and Cry on one target means they just melt.
Yeah, definitely. And looking, as we transition into this mid-game, the Trundle... The Maokai can't 1v1 the Trundle realistically in lane. The Trundle has that bat and he's just going to constantly bash at the tree. And there's really no way the Maokai can fight back. And the other members of UC, while they're grouped, they'll just Tristana, a very strong sieging AD carry. She's just going to be able to constantly take down these towers with her explosive charges.
So there's really not a lot of room for Chris to actually fight back against his Kissy, or anyone from BULSU for that. Now look at that aggressive move coming from Akinos. He might actually be able to escape MP with his life sliver of health, but actually gets taken out by the true shot barrage.
What a snipe!
Got sniped from the very bottom of the map, I believe. man. He actually, no, Cry actually goes for another kill onto Ralph here. I don't think Chris should continue to teleport. He does have the support.
So
of Ice around
aggressive.
the corner, but then very, very aggressive. Right now, he actually gets taken down. Cry will fall for the first time in this game, giving BULSU a little bit of breathing room.
Okay, BULSU needs more of this if they want to come back. They need to take these picks. If given to them, they realize Cry is still a very squishy target. And with an arcane shift down, they were able to fight back and pick up that shutdown gold on them. So it's very big for BULSU, but they need more of this. They need more gold in their pockets. They need to scale up if they want to come back in this game.
That was a very cheeky dance around the blast cone there. Franz needs to be very, very careful. I think he can actually turn around if one of the spears miss, but unfortunately, here comes JP actually to help him out, and he just falls down. Ice gets taken out.
Yeah, over-aggression comes there from Ice, will cost him his life, and we've seen this happen right in the top lane. He was trying to chase down Kissy, really trying to get a kill for himself, but unfortunately this time he gets punished for it properly. Jors, you are pretty much...
I think there are no words for that other than Jors. Rest in peace, and Ralph once again left alone as the rest of his carries fall. But man, what is telling though, there's actually someone Rift Herald here in this mid lane. It's going to be a very potent siege coming from Cry as well as Franz. He was just trailing behind.
That's going to deal a lot of damage to your turret because the primary wave clear of BULSU isn't here. They have to rely on Jors and Empty to stop.
Oh man, Hex Flash coming from Akinos for a sneaky play against Ice, and he falls down once again. Sneaky, sneaky Hex Flash. Great use of that.
Oh my god, it's still
going in with Kissy and the rest of the squad, but I think all they want is this demolition job onto the turret, onto the inhibitor. They might actually be able to turn this. This inhibitor is going to fall very, very quickly as soon as Franz and Cry are able to get on it. It seems like BULSU might want to try for a turn. Look at that Hex Flash. Just a little cheeky BM from Akinos for that one.
Hex Flash is a very fun ability to use.
Especially for these supports that really rely on jumping onto your opponents or just being sneaky and getting picks like Leona, like Blitzcrank. Those are possible users of Hex Flash, and there we saw how it led them to really take two of these turrets and the inhibitor very, very easily.
Yeah, and you said the inhibitor was taken down. It's fairly early into the game, only at 17 minutes, and already an 11k gold lead for UC. The lead is looking very, very insurmountable for BULSU, and I think momentum has shifted all in the favor of UC. And we mentioned before the game started, it's very important that this third game, whoever comes out on top, will be on match point. They're going to need one game to win, and now BULSU, I wonder, are they flustered?
It has to be, as you said, mental fortitude in this best of 5, but it also goes to UC. Like, if they are at match point, and here in this game they are very, very ahead, they have to be wary.
They're well on their way on.
Yeah, definitely. But they have to be wary not to make any of those moves like earlier where they overstay their welcome and were able to get turned on by BULSU because of their over-aggressiveness. If that is a trend that happens, it could cost them another important game. Maybe not this one, but in the next games it might cost them.
BULSU are pushing forward
victory.
here.
Definitely. BULSU is trying to take down Akinos here. Actually gets the kill over there, but it seems like the rest of UC are unfazed, still going about their business.
That's a bit of hesitation from UC. Cry wasn't in the area. Their most fed member, I should say, in this area. It's really the key point of their draft, and BULSU, great by them to realize that they can take down Akinos on this rather squishy still support Leona. And BULSU needs more of this if they want to come back. They really, really need to find more kills, find more gold, try and stall the game for as long as they physically can.
But it's going to be still very, very scary. If they stall out the game, they might be able to have a fighting chance, but then they have to deal with 2 scaled up AD carries for this one.
2 Infernal Drakes as well.
Oh man, that is spicy indeed.
The bird.
It's going to be quite painful once BULSU feels it. Look at that. Franz making good use of the Mountain Drake and the Twin Infernal Drakes to just wail onto this turret. Rise pulling attention of 4 members. He might actually fall down here with 4 members of BULSU going on him, but this does give so much free time for UC on that top lane, and they will be able to get this top lane inhibitor.
Yeah, BULSU
they're stopping.
They stopped
it so nicely. But seems like that is as much effort as they can put out into stopping those recalls. They will just have to back off, regroup, and then just use that 11k gold lead to their advantage.
Yeah, if there's only one inhibitor left standing for BULSU, I won't be surprised if UC resets and then just goes to brute force down in that bot lane, or potentially go for a Baron play. But now BULSU, they're going to try and take down JP.
JP has a fighting chance here, has a lot of sustain.
However,
there's so many members of BULSU right around the corner. Akinos trying to do something for his friend, but I think he just has to get out with a blast cone. Very close though, look at Ice's HP.
Yeah, I like that BULSU are beginning to take matters into their own hands. They're constantly getting these pickoffs, and UC, they need to be very careful not to give up too much of this. And now
from UC, very dangerous Baron call without his mid laner.
I think
BULSU has an idea. Yeah, they do. And this is quite dangerous. But look at that HP on that Baron. It might be too late to actually cancel that, as Cry fails his arcane shift over the wall, and BULSU will be able to get this Baron uncontested as Ice gets the smite. Oh, what a dear, UC. What happened there? A little bit of overconfidence. Like I said, those kinds of moves will cost them a lead, or even the game, or even the match itself. So they have to be absolutely careful with how they make the move. This gives BULSU a second wind, a little bit of free time to breathe and regroup and just recuperate.
Yeah, and what this Baron will allow BULSU to do, it's going to delay the game for UC. They're going to have a harder time trying to push against Baron-empowered minions, and such a crucial mistake, really. BULSU, they were able to respond fast enough to that Baron take, and now might this be the start of their comeback? They've taken the first step. Can they take two more?
That 11k gold lead is now 8,000. BULSU can extend this by taking a few objectives here and there. Those outer turrets are still standing. Those are basically sacks of gold that BULSU can collect. But they still have to deal with the threat of UC flanking them, destroying them. And here comes Franz and JP looking for a kill onto yours. And they know their place. They have to run away for now.
Yeah, BULSU, they're definitely holding on here, but they still have to respect the lead that UC has. If Leona is able to catch one of your members, you're just gonna die instantly.
Akinos has to be very careful with how he moves around to be able to threaten BULSU. And really, the paranoia and the fear of having the Zenith Blade on you, and then the rest of the CC lock. And as I said, since BULSU chose the Braum instead of the Morgana, they don't have that real saving mechanism for one of their members if they got locked down by the Morgana, by the Leona rather.
Yeah, but with that being said, UC are beginning to set up the waves here for their final push. You see 4 members shoving down the mid lane and a split push as well from the tunnel. Once these waves crash down, it will kill the members of BULSU, but there's a 1v1 bot lane.
Without any form of running away, unless he actually just jumps away.
He hops away.
Yeah, then hops away. Kissy can't actually chase them once he's out of the domain.
Yeah, he hops away. Very smoothly right there, but he needs to be very careful because Trundle is a huge 1v1 threat.
You can't stay for too long against that troll, and this actually gives UC a little bit of room here to maneuver in this mid lane.
The mid inhibitor is already up for BULSU, so that will let them buy a bit more time, and I think UC, they're just trying to burn this Baron buff, and BULSU needs to be very careful pushing forward.
Oh man, they don't want to be that choke point. Here comes a fight coming from all of the AoE CC that Akinos has. JP gets the kill onto Ralph, and this is just Cry trying to clean up. Ice falls down as well. Chris is between all of the members of UC, and Franz is just chasing down MP. Look at that HP bar go. Chris also gets taken down here by Cry. That is actually an ace, and this is actually the signal for UC to finish the game with a top lane inhibitor still fallen. They have a lot of time alone with these Nexus turrets.
Yeah, I don't think BULSU respected the lead that UC has, and like he said, Akinos, he's able to catch them out. UC will just destroy them, and with that being said, a very quick game here. Only 24 minutes, and UC will strike. Now they lead 2-1.
Man, that is match point, and now BULSU is basically having their backs to the wall, and they have to put out every ounce of effort they can in order to win the next games. If they falter 1 second, then UC will take the series away.
Yeah, BULSU, for the next game, they have to pull out all the stops. They really need to reset for that next game because it's match point for UC. Very crucial game for coming up for Bulacan State University. Let's see how can they possibly pick themselves up after a very one-sided game.
Because they have a few ways of actually taking out UC, even with the momentum heavily in Requiem Esports side. We all noticed that there are some key weaknesses in UC, and sometimes they overstay, sometimes they go over-aggressive in their plays. That could be a point of weakness that they can attack, but of course it's up to UC to fix that in the next game or two. So of course, we being your shoutcasters for this third game, this crucial third game. We'll be moving on to the fourth game in a little bit. We being your shoutcasters, I'm Atlas. With me is Chisto. We'll be seeing you for game 4 after a short break. The Rift Herald, they do want it. Here comes the ultimate coming from Akinos, and they still want to jump around Franz. Actually runs away very, very low, has to abandon Akinos. And here comes JP. He has a lot of AoE damage possible on him. Cry might go for the pickup onto that Rift Herald. He does actually. RKM, JP is actually trying so hard to fight back HP on that Baron. It might be too late to actually cancel that, as Cry fails his arcane shift over the wall, and BULSU will be able to get this Baron uncontested.
Have to be very careful pushing forward.
Man, they don't want to be that choke point. Here comes the fight coming from all of the AoE CC that Akinos has. JP gets the kill onto Ralph, and this is just Cry trying to clean up. Ice falls down as well. Chris is between all of the members of UC, and Franz is just chasing down MP. Look at that HP bar go. Chris also gets taken down here by Cry. That is actually an ace, and this is actually the signal for UC to finish the game with a top lane inhibitor still falling. They have a lot of time alone with these Nexus turrets.
Yeah, I don't think BULSU respected the lead that enthusiastic. Like you said, Akinos is able to catch this out. UC will just destroy it. That being said, a very quick game here. Only 24 minutes, and UC will strike. Now they lead 2-1.
Man, that is match point, and now BULSU is basically
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.